The brutal murder of Nikki Bhati in Noida allegedly over dowry demands and also fight for her own autonomy in running an Insta handle. Veera, she was very fond of posting reels, and that's something that her husband did not like. Now, this case has reignited national outrage, but it's far from isolated. From Tamil Nadu to Telangana, women continue to be harassed, tortured and killed by husbands and in-laws, often within days of months of marriage. Despite laws banning dowry, this practice thrives in silence, shielded by family honor and, of course, societal complicity.
That's right, Vasudha. Investigations drag on, convictions are rare, and victims are reduced to statistics at the end. These aren't just crimes. They are symptoms of a deeper rot in society, a culture that treats women as property and marriage as a transaction. We have cases of dowry deaths from across the country. Recently, you had from Tamil Nadu as well as Kerala. In Hyderabad, there has been the gruesome case of a husband chopping his pregnant wife and disposing her body into the rivers. There are laws but few convictions. India's obsession with patriarchal control has turned homes into battlegrounds, Vasudha, for women.
That's right. Heart-wrenching reality, Veera. And the big question, when will we stop measuring a woman's worth in gold, appliances, or even just obedience? And when will justice move faster than grief? That's a question that we are asking today. Joining us now, highly decorated former police officers Kiran Bedi and Vikram Singh. We'll also be joined by several other guests in just a bit. We also have Aviksha Tripathi Jain, who's a conflict psychologist. Let me go across to Kiran Bedi first. Ms. Bedi, it was just last month when I was talking to you about the Radhika Yadav case, and we had a great chat about the autonomy, the freedom for women to express themselves on social media. The dowry death aside, there's also a feeling that families don't really want to check the families that they are marrying their daughters into, and there is no question of autonomy of women, especially once you get married.
I tell you, almost barring exceptions, noble, dignified exceptions, use knowledgeable, educated classes exceptions. Having daughters and then marriageable age is a nightmare. In fact, if you ask me, there is no family which doesn't suffer from this kind of nightmare of when they have marriageable daughters and how do they get them married? Who will they get married to? Will it be safe? And what kind of dowry will they demand? What kind of home is it? What kind of in-laws she'll get? And what would be their behavior? It's a nightmare. I think we have not addressed this issue of how marriageable girls now. Now, some girls may be not wanting to get married, but the parents want to force her to get married for reasons. Otherwise, society kya kahegi? Because to be accepted in society, you have to, marriage is essential, whether it's a boy, man, or a woman. So it's a nightmare. So I think finding the right kind of man, particularly for the girl, is very crucial. And it's also about age, before they get over a particular age. So I think we need to address this issue. Is the marriage the be-all and end-all? It's becoming, and then giving and taking. Right. And why is dowry? Dowry is a collaboration. It's like a corruption case. I give you, you take. Where's the complaint? Yeah. So you don't even know. Only when it's fallout, it turns sour, or the real person in that person who he was gets revealed, or the kind of in-laws she had gets revealed. Otherwise, it's a give and take. And they continue to give. Every Tihar, every Diwali, every birthday, yes, every New Year, every Dussehra, every Holi. I think every festival is another nightmare for these families. So I think we've never ever addressed it. And as very rightly said by one particular advocate in another channel, that this has now got revealed so badly by the visual. It's a visual of the way the husband pulled her out, yes, and then the mother is also standing, and the way he put her on fire. And even the child has said, Papa ne mama ko mara. Now you have a clinching evidence. It's a close, right, it's an open, yes, and a shut case. So I think today marriageable girls and families and then it's very keen that brothers are very keen marriage of the daughter
Yes.
sister, so that it opens a house for them.
Yeah.
It enables them to bring their wife along. Otherwise, she may not come. They say, no, I will not come to you because you have
Right.
already a sister waiting to be married. So I think marriage is a very major. And number two, before Vikram and others come in, marriage, the way we get married, the kind of rituals we follow, and the kind of spiritual guidance we get, and says, don't look back now. Your home now is your husband's home.
Absolutely.
Now you go. You are done. So now that's your home. Why don't
That's
they say
right.
now, girl, my baby, you have two homes. You have your parents' home, and you also have now your husband's home.
Yes.
So now feel free to come and go whenever. There is no sense of freedom. Now she's gone and gone.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't
Vikram
think
Singh?
the way we've been looking at marriage as a whole, as in Indian society, I think it's exceedingly questionable.
Vikram Singh?
Mr. Vikram Singh.
Vikram Singh,
Yes,
if you can
please.
hear me, obviously.
I can hear you. Yes,
can
please
add
go
on
ahead.
to what Ms. Bedi has said. She's made some emphatic points.
What Mrs. Bedi has said, of course, may be very bitter, but the fact of the matter is coming from the person who has seen the world and who's one of the most noted speakers in the police uniform. And what she says indeed is the bitter truth, that having a daughter of a marriageable age is nothing less than a nightmare. But what have we done to mitigate the nightmare? 60,577 dowry deaths in the last few years and 2% convictions. We could have done much better. Where did we fail our daughters? Where did we fail our people? In the sense that you had the Nirbhaya guidelines, you had the forensic science laboratories, you had the fast track courts, you had the Nirbhaya funds, but everything seems to have gone for naught. Poor investigation, bad prosecution, leading to 98% acquittals. I mean, what a crying shame if we are analyzing where our fault lines are. Today, the advocates and the police say that there is no court work anywhere except in the family courts because the money is there. Apart from the fact, the police are supposed to be an intervening with a positive sense and not with the sense of making money. The police are reportedly, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that somebody will contradict me, that they promote this kind of a litigation and settlement, and they promote this kind of an unethical, uncalled for negotiations and milking both the parties white.
Right.
Then the courts are no better.
Absolutely. Aviksha Jain, you're a clinical psychologist. There are two people I want to know about. One, of course, the father who kept saying that the daughter told the family that she was being abused, she was being harassed, and the mother of the man who also was completely complicit in this whole violence, the video that Kiran ma'am also spoke about. What really leads to aggression of men and women, specifically in a patriarchal society like us? Because it's very depressing, but this is something that keeps happening.
A very, very unfortunate incident, like you rightly mentioned, Vasudha, and like ma'am and sir have said that, the patriarchy and, the problem is rooted much, much, much deeper than what we look at the surface. So like you rightly said, the girl went back to the father a couple of times to say that, I am being domestically abused. But the father, I was listening on some other channel where I was speaking, where he said that, we got the girl educated, we got her to build a parlor for herself, and she was self-dependent. But even then, he could not gather the courage to ask her to come back because he was afraid of the societal pressure, is my understanding. Because of the community pressure, because, what will you do with a divorced daughter? What will you do with a daughter who has come back? So these kind of pressures where the society is not supporting parents in bringing the daughters back is also something that we need to look at. And also the mother, like you rightly mentioned, she was not just raised in a patriarchal society, but being even a woman, she is actually supporting that society because she feels her sense of power is coming by supporting the men in the family. Because if she supports the woman, she may not be of any use. So she wants her position to be absolutely, cemented.
Right.
So she thinks that will come if I do it with my son. So she has not raised the red flags. She has not told her sons that this is not accepted.
Right. Kiran
So
Bedi,
these are my
I like the
observations
fact that
about
you
the
said
mother
that every daughter needs to be told that there are two homes. I know every mother has told her daughter that, there's no question of divorce. That's the first advice when you're going to get married. Ma'am, but, this whole thing about financial independence, today I saw a lot of tweets saying that ladki ko padha do, make her start earning. Once financial independence comes, she will be able to take care of herself. That doesn't seem to be working, because in the case of Radhika Yadav or in the case of this particular person, Nikki, both of them are financially independent and still, they could not counter the monsters in their lives.
Well, only the problem is the kind of quality education parenting is giving, the kind of quality education that schools and colleges are giving. They are not making our girls independently self-reliant thinking, dignified, and telling them marriage is an option. You may or may not exercise. And if your parents are not happy with you, okay, start your own home. Start your own home. No problem. Why are we not able to do that? I think there's a problem, first of all, in parenting, the way we're grooming our boys and girls terribly. Boy is growing by entitlement, and girl is in fear of migration, that one day I have to go, otherwise I'll be a burden. Third, she doesn't understand that if that is, she can start her own home. That means you need more infrastructure, more social systems, more women's hostels, working women's hostels, where they can come and stay with other friends as a network. That means systems in place. And I 100% agree with Vikram. What Vikram has said is a collapse of the judicial system as well. We have not made any exemplary fast punishment announcements of these kinds of deaths. Now, in this case, if we do not get a judgment within the first 6 months, it will go, have the same fate. And after 6 months, you and I will be discussing one more such a case. But when this is an open and shut case, what more? What more do you want? The child is speaking, the audiovisual is speaking, everything's there.
One is punishment, ma'am. I think there's... Ma'am, sorry, we lost your connection there for a bit. One is punishment, Mr. Vikram Singh. The other is a larger social introspection into how we approach it. I think the core concern is there. Despite several such cases, it remains a callous reality in the society, one that's condoned in several places under the carpet.
Let us make no mistake about it. Both are the two sides of the same coin. The certainty of punishment, I don't say it will end all dowry deaths and cases, but it's a major deterrent. In this case too, the girl's parents married both their daughters off in the same family, knowing fully well that the daughters are being brutalized, spending dowry after high-end Scorpio, the bullet car, the 30 grams of gold, as also the demand for 36 lakhs, and then last but not the least, the Mercedes car. I think they did educate their daughters well, they brought them up well, but where was the compulsion, as Madam Bedi has said, to keep on bailing out their daughters for what and against whom? These monsters did not learn ever, and they knew that they could fleece the parents out and they milk them white. But that wasn't to be, and the girl died before her time. But therefore, the certainty of punishment, as also the societal requirement, and also the sensitization of the police and the investigation and the counseling. And as Madam Bedi has rightly said, many platforms, bringing up the girls and bringing up the boys both, that needs to take a relook in today's times now.
Absolutely. Lots of changes in upbringing, and also like Kiran Bedi said, that we need to teach our girls self-reliance in thinking and not just financial independence. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Veera, it is a heart-wrenching story, and it still beats me as to why we treat a woman's suffering as a private matter until it just becomes a public tragedy.
Well, deeply, deeply disturbing reality there, Vasudha. Time for much introspection. That's all we have time for on the Southern View this evening. News and updates continue right here on NDTV.